Good day everyone, I am Gwen Susnor and in this video I'm going to present a short story of A Thousand Years of Good Prayers by Yiyun Lee. So before we proceed to our short story, let's have first our lesson objective. At the end of this lesson, the student should be able to recognize Yiyun Lee in her novel, A Thousand Years of Good Prayer. Explore the characters' journeys and themes of the story and create a short poem about the themes presented from the story. So, who is Yiyun Li? She is a Chinese American writer and a professor born in Beijing, China in 1972 and achieved success through a combination of personal experiences, academic endeavor, and artistic exploration. So, A Thousand Years of Good Prayers is a collection of short stories that explored themes of family, culture, and communication. Character analysis. Mr. Shi, a retired rocket scientist who struggles with language and cultural barriers as he navigates his visit to America. Madam, a woman in retirement home who forms a significant bond with Mr. Shi despite their language differences. Daughter, Mr. Shi's daughter, who is dealing with a recent divorce and struggles to communicate with her father. Yelan, a co-worker of Mr. Shi who is suspected to have an affair to him. So, the summary of the story. Mr. Shi, from China, claiming to be a retired rocket scientist, journeys to America to visit his daughter recently divorced. He convinced his reluctant daughter that his visit is for his 75th birthday to explore the US. When his daughter remains distant, he feels very lonely. He befriends an Iranian woman called Madam. They meet in parks every morning and communicate despite limited English. Mr. Shi confides in Madam, sharing personal stories of his past, daughter divorce, and the admiration for her vibrant personality. So his interaction for his daughter are not enough to be called as good relationship. In the evening, he cooks dinners for daughter but she eats little and avoid conversation. So he is concerned for his daughter happiness and growth. He worries that her divorce was somehow her fault. He reflects on his own life, remembering his wife and he communicated minimally. Mr. Shi's attempts to engage his daughter in a conversation are met with resistance. His belief that a woman should be differential just like his wife to, the, to be the ideal woman. During dinner, his daughter reveals that she has booked a tour of the US for him, followed by her enthusiastic conversation with a lover irritating Mr. Shi. She discloses that her ex-husband's inability to understand her feelings in Chinese contributed to their failed marriage, and she finds solace in speaking English with her new partner. During the conversation, Mr. Shi told his daughter that being a rocket scientist is a lie. In the next morning, Mr. Shi bids farewell to Madam, admitting that he wasn't a rocket scientist, but rather an ordinary worker who was demoted due to a misunderstanding involving an emotional relationship he had with a co-worker named Yelan. His refusal to admit to an affair resulted in a loss of his career. Mr. Shi realizes that he was in love with Yelan with emotional affair but never physical. He shares with Madam his belief that life gains meaning through sacrifices. In a personal revelation, Mr. Shi's relationship with his daughter reaches to turning point. He faces the truth of his past decisions and impact they've had on his daughter's life. He acknowledges his deep connection with Madam, who holds up a golden leaf as a symbol of their bond. Mr. Shi embraces the present, understanding that life meaning is shaped by choices and the connection we forge. So, A Thousand Years of Good Prayers by Yiyun Li explore a complex dynamics of family, communication, and a cultural identity through the lens of Chinese immigrant. From Mr. Shi visiting his American raised daughter, the story delves into themes of language and communication, family relationship, cultural differences, and love, history and migration, and the reach for meaning. The key themes of the story: communication. The story highlights the importance of communication and understanding and fostering meaningful relationship. So the story the story highlights the barriers and opportunities presented by language. Mr. Shi struggles to communicate with his daughter, who has assimilated into American culture and prefers to speaking English. This language barriers creates a chasm between them, preventing them from fully understanding each other's experiences and emotions. However, Mr. Shi finds solace in his friendship with Madame, an Iranian woman he meets in America. Despite their inability to speak each other's language, they connect through shared experiences and a mutual understanding of their respective cultures. This underscored that the idea of true communication transcends language barriers and can be achieved through empathy and shared experiences. Family. The complexities of father-daughter relationship across cultural divides. The story delves into a complexity of father and daughter relationships, particularly in the context of cultural differences and a personal struggles. Mr. Shi grapples with his daughter's divorce and her unconventional lifestyle, which clashes with his traditional Chinese values. He feels disappointed and misunderstood, longing for a deeper connection with his daughter, but struggling to bridge the gap between their different worlds. The story explores the challenges of maintaining family bonds across generation, particularly when faced with cultural shifts and personal choices. Culture. The clash between traditional Chinese values and American individualism. A Thousand Years of Good Prayers vividly portrays the cultural clash between traditional Chinese values and American individualism. Mr. Shi's experiences in America challenge his belief that about marriage, family, and communication. He struggles he struggles to understand his daughter's choices and her embrace of American culture, while simultaneously feeling a sense of liberation from a societal constraints of his homeland. The story highlights the complexities of navigating cultural differences, particularly when individuals move between vastly different societies. Love. The different forms love takes, from familial to platonic, and the need for understanding. The story explored the nature of love and intimacy in various forms. Mr. Shi's relationship with his daughter is strained by their inability to communicate openly, while his friendship with Madame provides a sense of connection and understanding. Mr. Shi Mr. Shi also reflects on his past relationship with a woman he worked with, questioning the nature of their bond and whether it constituted a form of love. The history suggests that love can manifest in different ways, ranging from familial bonds to platonic friendships. And the true intimacy requires open communication and mutual understanding. History. The impact of the past on individuals who have migrated and adapted a new culture. From the story, it emphasizes the impact of history and the migration on the character's life. So Mr. Xi's past as a rocket scientist in China, a career he was forced to abandon due to a perceived transgression, shaped his present outlook in his relationship with his daughter. So his experience highlights that enduring influence of the past on individual lives, particularly for those who have experienced significant cultural shifts. So the story also explores the challenges of adapting a new culture and a conflicting pressures from assimilate while maintaining one's cultural heritage. Next, meaning. The ongoing quest for purpose and fulfillment in life, often found in the human connection. The search for meaning. Throughout the story, Mr. Shi grapples with the question of meaning in life. He reflects on his past choices, questioning whether his sacrifices were worthwhile and whether he has lived a fulfilling life. His journey in America forces him to confront his values and to re-evaluate his priorities, ultimately leading him to a greater appreciation for the present moment and the importance of human connection. The story suggests that the search for meaning is a lifelong journey, often intertwined with personal experiences, cultural influences, and a pursuit of love and connection. So, A Thousand Years of Good Prayer is a poignant and a thought provoking story that explores the complexities of human relationships, cultural differences, and search for meaning. Through Mr. Shi's journey, the story highlights the importance of communication, empathy, and understanding in navigating the challenges of family, cultural, and personal growth. So the story's themes resonates with readers across cultures, prompting reflection on the universal experiences of the family, identity, and the search for connection in a rapidly changing world. So the activity has no longer implemented. So that that's the story of A Thousand Years of Good Prayers. And here are the references. So that would be all. Thank you.